1 second. Getting everything set up here. Get my chat pulled up. There may be a lot of background noise. There's supposed to be some people coming over. I just wanted to do a quick stream to test some things. So I'm sorry if you can hear the dogs barking.
If I cannot be in the wilderness, this will do.
Wait 1 second. What's up? Yeah, I'm just gonna do a short stream just to test a few things. Let me go to a training dummy. I think even if the Radikepeleke, the cast twice doesn't work, I'm gonna keep this one like this just in case they patch it. I'll probably try to find another one, and I will probably masterwork either crit damage or max resource on the other one, because I do want to use this. Because I'd have like a lot of basic and core scaling. And where's it? Casting a basic skill while at max resource spends it all to make nearby enemies vulnerable. Wait, so is this casting twice? It's hard to tell with that power. So just for this testing, let me take these gloves off. Okay, let me read what Rake says. Conjure claws that rake through enemies in front of you, dealing damage before exploding. Okay, so it looks like it's hitting twice. Okay, let me take it off and see if it still does the same animation. Oh, I need to find another staff or something. Okay, this will work. Just for testing. Okay, see, look, it's hitting once. So yeah, it hits once. Then you put the Kepaleka on, and it's hitting twice. So if that bug is correct, like, it should only be a Quill Volley bug. Wait, I just want to test that with Quill Volley as well. Oh yeah, it's not working. So Quill Volley's bugged. So, are you seeing this, Malphasar? So yeah, Quill Volley does not work with the cast twice. But if you put Rake on, it's hitting twice. Okay, so we know that that does not work for Quill Volley, but it does work for my build, so that's good. And they supposedly buffed... They didn't buff this, they left this the exact same. Yeah, but they buffed Prodigy Tempo. And I think they doubled the... Yeah, this was 40 yesterday. And I tried this. The only thing is my cooldowns don't reset fast enough, and I don't have a lot of damage. I can armor cap and res cap, but I don't have a lot of damage reduction outside of like the block damage reduction and the damage reduction per resolve stack, and then I think a couple damage reduction things on my Paragon. So I can't really run this because when I was testing Pit yesterday, I ended up dying to the boss running this because I wasn't able to reset my cooldowns. But with the Prodigy Tempo, I was able to constantly reset my defensive, and that was give me 100% block chance. So that was like making me way tankier. And then also being unstoppable, that will give me a damage increase, and then 100% block chance. And then with this power right here, I have the max rolled aspect. You gain critical strike damage equal to 105% of your block chance. So it's like 100% uptime, like with the Prodigy Tempo. So I think I just need to stay with this. I would have to like change my build a lot. So I need to test Concussive Stomp rune. So this would give me a barrier. And when enemies recover from your Concussive Stomp, you dodge their attacks for the next 3 seconds. See, that could be good. I know I want these two, but if I would have to take it from here, because I'm just taking the passive off this. And against the boss, the passive reads, counterattack passively increases your crit damage by 6% for every close enemy up to 30. So against bosses, that's only a 6% crit damage buff. So I could drop this, and I could change out the Wild Claws. The Rake manifest a Spirit Jaguar that also casts Rake for base damage, and I could get the armor stacking power. Okay, I need to go back to town and test that next. Okay, but good to know. And I may even clip that part where I was testing and make a short video. Because people probably are confused, just thinking the Kepaleka don't work in general, but it only doesn't work with Quill Volley. Okay, actually, there was a build Rob had made at the beginning of the season where he was using Concussive Stomp, and I want to see the rune combo he used. Like, Rob 2628 builds. Hopefully it's not the... Okay, because I need this right here, the Pak Zan. Because this makes me overpower for my overpower build, so I have to have this rune. And the proc, I can proc this every 2 hits, and this is probably the best way to proc it out of all the runes I had, at least. So I kind of need that. And I think when I looked yesterday, it was, let me double check. I think I had, where is it? I have 173 max resource. So every 2 hits, I proc overpower because I have to spend 300. So I think that is the best way to proc the overpowers every 2 hits. And I was looking at things I could do, and I don't think I can get to 300 max resource without like stacking it on gear and losing other stats I need. I could 3 out of 3 this, but that's only going to give me 30. On the Paragon board that I made for myself yesterday, where is the sapping board? I could swap Revenge over there, and this would increase all of my legendary nodes. Not legend. What's it called? Rare nodes, I mean. And that's not going to be. Yeah, that's still not going to get me to 300. So I think best I can do is proc overpower every 2 hits. And this Paragon board, I need to like min-max it. Like I need to actually open up a planner with 300 points and see like what bonuses like from stacking all the decks and stuff. I know I want Colossal on Revealing. I've seen that on a lot of Spiritborn builds. So that one is a strength board, and it's right here. So that one doesn't move. But I think all the other... And I want this glyph right here because it increases all my rare nodes. And the rare nodes on this board is crit damage and damage while I have a barrier. So that's probably the best for this board as well. So I really can mess around with the Spirit Glyph, Fitness, and Wildfire and see which boards actually give me the most bonus per board. And on a planner, it will actually show me like what the bonus is and see like what would be the strongest thing. Because Wildfire gives me more fire damage. This gives me crit damage and a damage boost when you crit. And this gives me crit damage. And it restores a little bit of my resource. Which that's good for the Kepaleke. And I think one of the legendary nodes as well. Where is it? It's not that one. It's not that one. I think it says... Yeah, this also restores my resource for the Kepaleke as well. Okay, so I need to pull up Rob's build real quick. I just want to see his rune combo. Like, that's the only thing I want to see. So I think he had a good rune combo, because I did look at his... So yeah, he had a Shava Quill Volley. This was the build I was looking at in the season. So this one uses... Lith. So wait. Every 0.3 seconds. Okay, so Lith. And this was using the Bulwark one with Pock. But I'm using Pock on the Overpower. So, okay, I think Lith with the Concussive Stomp would be the best. Okay, so now I need to see... The next thing I need to test is to see if the rune actually procs the Concussive Stomp. Or no, not if it procs Concussive. If Concussive Stomp can proc the armor stacking power. So I need to put the power on my gear. Okay, so we'll just put the Or is it aspect of unyielding hits? When you cast a gorilla skill, increases your weapon damage by 28%. And it's like a value of your armor stacking. And as you see, I'm currently not armor capped, but I can change my stats around because this is very scuffed gear. I can actually try to armor stack as close to 5,000 armor as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And then I had Moonrise on my ring, so I actually need to drop this right here and put Moonrise because that's going to be another 100% damage. Where's the aspect of Moonrise? Right there. Okay, so I need to change my runes around. Just going to put all these in my stash. Alright, I need a lith. I think I have a lith. Yep. And then I think the Concussive Stomp was one of these gold ones. Yep, that's right here. So, like I said, I have to have this. See, I can drop this because this gives me Earthen Bulwark, which gives me a barrier. But Concussive Stomp, if I put some skill points into it, that will also give me a barrier. So that would be fine. And it will activate the unyielding hits or whatever it's called. And I only have to stand still for 2 seconds while fighting, so that's not bad. Let me just see what runes I have while I'm in town as well. Skill with a cooldown, no. Skill for another class, no. 25, so that I need 200, so that would be 8 skills, no. I think Lith is going to be the best. Kepaleke makes my core a basic, so this won't work. Bot could work. I think Lith is going to be the best one, though. This could be good. Cast 5 skills, but this is exhaust for 3 seconds, and I think this is on a... Oh, where is it? This will activate every 2.4. So, yeah, Lith is going to be the best way. Okay, so now that I have that on, I need to take points out of this. And I know I for sure need that. The Concussive Stomp, because I want the barrier to replace the Earthen Bulwark, because I need to stack barrier for my Paragon board. So where do I put a point at? I either will put it this, because this will allow me to dodge, which will make me tankier. That might actually be the best way to... Or... I don't really need life on kill. This heals me. That's my health. I don't need any of this. And I actually don't have any gorilla skills that I use besides the defensive, so the gorilla passives are no. Okay, so I could either pick up 5% damage reduction, or I could pick up... Okay, and this, I don't need ranks into this, because at 5 out of 5, this will give you 2 stacks of passive resolve every 5 seconds, but I stack 8 stacks of resolve, and I can stack 8 pretty fast with this being 1 to 5, so I don't need that. So it's really between 5% damage reduction. Oh, let me close his build thing. I don't need it no more. I just wanted to see his rune combo. Alright, so chat, what do y'all think? Should I get the 5% damage reduction to vulnerable, and I can pretty much always make things vulnerable with my boss power? Or should I get the thing where you dodge their attacks, their next 3 attacks? So this seems a lot better than 5% damage reduction. What do y'all think, chat? I'm thinking this. Sorry, bud. Work can go with me for a bit. Oh, that's fine. What do you think would be better, though? The if it was you, would you rather take 5% damage reduction, or would you rather take you can dodge the next 3 attacks after you proc this, and you proc it every 2.4 seconds? I'm thinking you dodge the next 3 attacks. That sounds way better than 5% damage reduction. Yeah, I'm going with this. Hold on, I got to mute my mic just a second. Sorry. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, the dodge would probably be better. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so I am so glad. Whenever you had said that the cast twice on Kepaleke wasn't working, I was like, oh no. Okay, so I'm just glad that it's Quill. And I said I'll probably clip that out, make like a short little video, like just showing my findings with that. Just like post the clip where I was testing it. Yeah, it's just Quill. I didn't even test any of the other core skills, but I swear, I've played a little bit of Quill. I have not played Kepaleke Quill this season. I tried the Poison Quill, but I've tried Kepaleke Crushing Hand and now Kepaleke Rake, and I swear both of those cast twice. That's why I was like, wait, it doesn't work. I was actually confused. Okay, so this is right. So I need to see if it's proccing the unyielding hits, because I'm actually not going to notice much of a damage difference from it, because I only have 600 armor. I'm not even armor capped in tier 4. But if it does proc the unyielding hits, I want to see if there's like one of those little buff things at the bottom of my screen. Oh, what's up, AW9? Okay, so stand still. Okay. Okay, it's hard to tell. Wait, does anybody see anything about unyielding hits when I do this? It's hard to tell. And I'm not armor stacking enough to know. Okay, so how do I proc this thing? Stand still for 2 seconds when in combat. So I think it's just constantly gonna proc. Okay, so that's the... So does it... I need to know if it's doing the unyielding hits. How can I actually test that? How's life? I was pretty good. Did they fix Spiritborn? Define fix Spiritborn. Okay, I'll tell you what they did. They buffed some things, like they buffed this key passive and doubled its damage. They buffed this, and they buffed this. So all this is better right here. They buffed the protector, which is good for like Thorns builds. So that's better. See, that's all in the skill tree they buffed, but they also made it where this power unyielding hits can apply to the Varshan and Ashava powers, but they did make it where none of the Ashava powers do good damage anymore. They pretty much they killed the build. But you still can make an Ashava build, like a poison build, like with the Ashava power. See, like 3 million base poison damage, and it stacks per 1% of the enemy's current life. And you can combo that with the poison down here. And say if you like stack a bunch of crit damage, which you can stack a lot more than I'm stacking. I'm not doing that build right now. So the Ashava with this actually works with the unyielding hits now, where it didn't before. So that is major buffed. And the unyielding hits is Spiritborn's second strongest aspect after redirected force. So that is a major Spiritborn buff if you're specifically playing the Ashava build. But if you're not playing the Ashava build, you may feel a little bit stronger, depending on what key passive you're playing, if you're playing one of these three. And I tested where people were saying the Rada Kepaleke was not, the chance for core skills to hit twice was not working. It only does not work with Quill. Like, say if you do this, it still casts twice. And see, I can demonstrate it. See, if you put this on right here. Okay, I just need a resource. Look, it's only hitting once. So the cast twice does work if you're not playing Quill Volley. You're playing any other core skill with this. This should work. So it just doesn't work with Quill Volley. Now I'm trying to test and see if the concussive stomp applies the unyielding hits, because there was a debate online at the beginning of the season where people were saying this was not activating the unyielding hits for the Ashava builds. And people were like, well, is it not applying to the Ashava, or is it not applying because you're not actually casting it, that you're invoking it? Because casting and invoking is two different things. That was the debate. But with the patch notes, it said that unyielding hits will now apply to the Ashava power. So I'm thinking that it can invoke unyielding hits, that it wasn't the rune, it was the fact that it just didn't apply to the Ashava power. I want to start playing Spiritborn. I just bought the expansion last season, but yeah, Spiritborn, this is pretty much how Spiritborn has went. In Season 6, it was the most broken class in the game, and it had 9 bugs to the class, and it was like so far ahead of everything. So Season 7, they patch all the Spiritborn bugs. They're like, we're going to see how strong Spiritborn is without being buffed, and it was the worst class in the game. And then at the end of Season 7 last season, they were like, okay, Spiritborn is kind of where we want power, we're not going to buff it. But then they go and buff like all the other classes. So once again, Spiritborn is the weakest class. Now, the one way around that is if you just make a full Ashava poison build, and you do like, because the Ashava, like, the cool thing about Spiritborn on the skill tree right here is we have a good way to scale the Ashava power. Like, it's because dots generally aren't good right now. More times than not in Diablo, just dot damage is like damage over time is not good. But with this, we can detonate the dot and we can scale it off of our crit damage. So we have like a good way to actually scale the power. So if you play an Ashava build, like, and I actually have a planner on max roll. Here, I can link it. It's a crushing hand build, and hold on. Yeah, it's a crushing hand build, and it uses the Ashava poison. So that any Ashava build is definitely going to be good right now. So let me see if I can find it. It's under the community builds. Where is it? It should be, yeah, Jay Harrison poison crushing hand. Let me see if I can link it. Okay. Yep. Okay, that's my build that I made for Poison Crushing Hand with the Ashava power. I made this for one of my friends, and he loves this build, and he played it before the buff, and at the time I didn't know that Ashava didn't apply to the unyielding hit. So this build is massively buffed today that I made. So if you do want to play Spiritborn, and Crushing Hand is kind of like a ground punch, if that sounds like kind of your thing, like that's a good build. And that's completely theorycraft. I didn't actually play test it. I just sat down for literally 3 hours messing with the stats and everything, and I tried to make it about as good as possible. So if you do follow this build, and say if you're low on armor or something, feel free to tweak or whatever, just to make it more comfortable for you. But this is a great template to follow right here. Oh, I think I know how I can test the unyielding hits. I can put the Gorilla Basic on my bar. So, see if the unyielding hits. Okay, what is this? Okay, actually this might not be a good one to test with. You still miss, oh, do you not have one? And with, let's see what I have on my planner. I haven't looked at it in a second. Oh, if you don't have the Mythic Helm, you can definitely, all you would have to do would be put the Harmony of Ibawaka on and change your second Spirit Hall to Jaguar, because you get 30% per Spirit top, and you can you get 30 from Crushing Hand because it's a Gorilla skill. You get 30 from Centipede because Centipede's your primary for this build, and then you would change your secondary from Gorilla to Jaguar, and that's another 30, so that'd be 90%. So it would actually be a bigger multiplier than the Mythic would be if you done that. But you get a lot of other great things from running Gorilla secondary. So if you have the Mythic, I would recommend running the Mythic. But Harmony of Ibawaka is, and even if you don't change the Spirit Halls, you still get a flat 60%, so it's about the same as the...
At least I can put my skills to use.
So yeah, you can just run the Harmony of Ibawaka if you don't have that. I'm not fast enough, like I don't... See, I don't know if I'm getting anything from this. Okay, what I can do is... Let me put... Okay, it is full armor and jewelry. That puts me at 900%. Let's see if I have an armor one. Okay, I'm at 13. Alright, let me just do some damage here. 55 million, 230 million, 351 million, okay, 500 million. And keep in mind, I do not have a lot of the good gear I need. I'm still missing a lot of masterworking, and a couple of my glyphs aren't even 46, so I'm missing a lot of power. Super scuffed gear on this new build I'm making. So yeah, okay. Close to 500 million on the high end. Okay, so let's go back to town. I will take this power off, and I will see if I'd still do about the same amount of damage. Thanks, man. Great explanation. Oh, yeah, no problem. And anytime I'm live, feel free to jump in and ask questions and stuff. I'll help however I can. I'm definitely not a pro, but okay, so in Season 6, I played 9 Spiritborns and just tried like all the builds. Last season, I played 7 Spiritborns, and I just like played a bunch of the different builds. And this season, I have played 2 or 3 Spiritborns, but I've done a bunch of the builds. So pretty much I have, since the expansion, Spiritborn has been my class that I've played. So I know a lot about it, and I like helping people, so. Like in this build, like I'm going to end up making a build guide for Rake because I really like Rake. It's probably my favorite skill in the game. And the skills and everything on like the gear skills, mercenary, boss powers that I'm running, I feel like all this is like about as good as it's going to get. The only thing, I am not a master of the Paragon board. See, I got all the boards we need, all the glyphs we need, but I still have to mess with the Paragon board, try to min-max it a little bit. So this is going to be a good Paragon board, but I'm not saying it's the best Paragon board out there. But so for example, this build on the Maxroll website, like where all the build guides, was in D tier. I made it. I made my own, not it. I made my own version of Rake. See, their build didn't overpower, and mine's an overpower build. And this was instantly T4 viable with very scuffed gear, very bad gear. So I would say this version of Rake is better than Maxroll's Rake. I have a better combo of boss powers. I made this an overpower build. And I actually am going to, I want to full get the overpower build so I can make like a full guide and try to help people out with this. But then I'm going to test a variant of Rake where, cause see this version of Rake right here. Let me go to my skill tree. It's pretty much full scaling Rake. And the best way to scale it is like make it a crit overpower build. So this is a full Rake build. What I want to try is this 1 of 5 this, like, so you're not really having a lot of damage scaling with this, and actually kind of be more of an Ashava poison build with this key passive. So I do want to test that too eventually, but that will be a different variant for later. And the Ashava one, and it's kind of like that one I linked for Crushing Hand, but with Rake, that would probably be the strongest variant of a Spiritborn, like anything with an Ashava power and this key passive. And it works for all, like the Ashava build. You can literally use any core skill or really any skill you want, and all you would have to do is do the Centipede as your primary, because it would make all your damage you deal apply a poison. And the fact that you have a poison, where's the Ashava thing? See, hitting enemies affected by damage over time, that would proc this. So you pretty much just need the Centipede primary, and then you can use any core skill that you prefer. So that's probably and now that they pretty much patched the Varshan build, so the Varshan build doesn't work anymore. An Ashava Spiritborn would probably be the best version of a Spiritborn. But I wanted to take Rake, my favorite skill, and honestly one of the worst skills in the game. Maxwell had in D tier, and I wanted to see how strong I can make it. Like actually being a Rake build, not being a boss power build. And who knows, like now that the Ashava build can actually ramp your armor stacking damage from unyielding hits, that could end up getting patched if it's too strong as well. So I would be very careful running boss power builds. But this right here, like this is not getting nerfed. Or pretty much any Spiritborn build that actually scales the core, like through means of like crit overpower or something, those aren't going to get nerfed. It's some things that are getting carried by boss powers. That's kind of like the Varshan build. That's what I would worry about getting nerfed. All right, so what did I say? I hit for close to 500 million without. Okay, I want to take. I'm just gonna have to see. I was looking at the buff bar to see if I seen an unyielding hits buff. I don't think I seen an unyielding hits buff. So I don't know if there's just not a thing on the buff bar for that. So the best way is I can just see what my flat damage is. Offense. See, what do I want to throw on here? Let me just throw on what I was running before, the Wild Claws, because that's probably what I'll go back to if I don't run Unyielding. So 500 million damage with bad gear with this build. And keep in mind, I threw this build together in literally like 2 hours yesterday, just because I wanted to play Rake. So this build is evolving as I go. Okay, so I need to get him down injured because 30 million, 64 million, I don't know, 133 million. See, when they're injured, the damage is like there, really. 329. Still less. 450. Oh, is it not proccing? Because that was close. 422. And keep in mind, I don't have a lot of armor stacked. Like, you can stack up to 5,000 armor. So if I had a lot of armor stacked, I could really tell a difference, but... Oh, I'm so dumb. I still have unyielding hits. Hold on. That is my bad. Okay, so I need to put Moonrise back on the gloves. And then I need to put Wild Claws on... Okay. So close to 500 million damage. That was my current. And I'm thinking, like, I was still hitting for almost 50 million more with this, with, like, hardly any armor stack. So we need to get him injured, because that's where the big damage numbers are going to pop up. $306. 330. $292. Okay, I'm not hitting nothing close to... So what do you think, Malphasar? Do you think the unyielding's working? Because, I'm hitting close to 400 million. Let me test it one more time. I swear unyielding is more damage right now. And I don't even have a lot of armor stacked. So let's put unyielding hits back on the ring. Aspect of unyielding hits. So I need to end up like armor stacking. Not familiar enough with, not sure it was doing before damage wise. Okay, see what I'm doing, I'm testing without the unyielding hits and I'm testing with the unyielding hits. And see, the version I just ran without unyielding hits, I was hitting within the 300 million mark with like scuff gear. So now I'm putting unyielding hits on. Alright, let me get him injured, because that's where the damage picks up. $426. But this is more damage, like. And the concussive stomp is proccing like every 2 seconds. So when I hit my cooldowns, 566 million. Oh yeah, so without the unyielding hits aspect, casting a gorilla skill increases your weapon damage by 28% of your armor at a maximum of 1,500. And for example, 30% of 5k is 1,500. So you can stack it to 5k. But before I was doing like around the 300 million mark or whatever. But with unyielding hits, I'm doing a little over 5. I seen like a 560 something, I think, million. So this is definitely more damage. And what I was testing was to see if the concussive stomp rune is proccing the unyielding hits. That's what I was testing. And I think it does, because it is more damage. And my gear could get a lot better. Like, okay, I want the core skill because I crit already 100% of the time. Don't need that. Lucky hit doesn't really do a lot for me here. Movement speed, so core skill would be the best on that one. I need max life on this because this is an overpower build, so max life skills your overpower. And I would honestly like on a Starless, I mean, I would take core or attack speed, but I really want attack speed to make this thing attack fast. It'd be way more damage per second. So yeah, I'm missing that. Now, with the armor stack, I need to find another pair of pants. I don't know if I want GA armor or max life. I would actually need to make a planner and play around with stats to see what would probably be better there. The resilient will give you max life when you cast a gorilla skill, which your defense is a gorilla skill, and if I end up using the concussive stomp, that works as well. I need to put resilient on my amulet. I need to find a 800, like a ancestral. And I would like GA total armor if I'm armor stacking, but these stats. And I need to find another ring with these exact stats, but I need new tempering on this because I changed to that Varshan build, and this I'm out of like temper rerolls on this, so I have to like run this. I mean, this is perfect. This is res cap just on the boots. So, and I actually probably am not res cap now that I took one of the resistance things out. So I just need to, I need to masterwork this. I probably need the double crit. Yeah, I need to double crit all res on this, and then I'd put the other crit movement speed just so I'd move faster. Wait, I also want to test something else, so I'm testing right here. Oh, so I don't even need... Wait. Hold on. I know this is weird. I'm seeing how my primary restore does without the thing on it. Okay, if I'm casting all my skills... It's not as good. But if okay, I'm just putting all this back on. See, I was debating on do I drop the lucky hit chance to restore primary resource, and then I could do, I need to find another pair of gloves with max life, armor, and ranks of rake. And I actually need to test and see what's more valuable to stack. Stack armor up to that 5,000 threshold, or stack max life for overpowering. So I need to actually test that out. But that's not like a today test. That's going to be like as I play test type thing. And also once I pull up a planner and make a planner for this and stuff. And maybe even like a Google search or so to see like what would be more valuable to stack. So I'm going to say, I think unyielding hits does work. And my barrier's like pretty good. And look at my Paragon board. Let me see if there's any more like barrier generation. Yeah. See, I could pat down here and grab that. So this is barrier. See, I need to grab this barrier generation to finish stacking my barrier. I'll probably grab this as well. I mean, it's 10% lucky hit, but actually 15% lucky hit. There's armor for armor stacking. See, I don't really need the all res, but I do want to grab like all the armor I can path to, so I might have to end up grabbing that. Okay, there's some armor. There's some armor. You did some testing yourself. What did you test? See, I could probably snake up here depending on how many points I have left over, and I could grab this max life. Probably just do like a path right here. Non-physical. I mean, if I have enough, I'll just grab all these, because Rake is fire damage. Anything change with your build? So this is just going to be like a testing stream for me. So like Bilal modifiers work. See, with mine, I'm running the Lilith power, so I get the ramping 300% multiplicative, because I think that's the best. I even tried the Grigor Lightning Square, and it might be better for other builds. I don't know, because that one's like a core skill one. I even went through and looked at all these, and if you're not doing a Shava build for Spiritborn, I think this is the best one. And I have used Urvar's Law Bombs. That's just going to give you like cooldown reduction. Damage over time. No, I'm a crit overpower build. Burn. That's a damage over time. See, I thought about that one because I'm a Rake build, but I think fire damage and burn damage are two separate things. Like the Sword Burn and Jaguar Fire is two different things. So yeah, I think if you're not doing an Ashava build, I think that the next best power to use for a Spiritborn at least would be... Oh, that's a lot of freeze. Cold damage and freeze. And then that could also work for Sin Rats. I don't know. I swear the Lilith power... Did they buff the Lilith power? Or... I don't know. I don't know, the 300x, like that seems the best. And since I'm a Kepaleke build, and I was thinking I could do the lucky hit chance to apply Vuln, but with this boss power right here, the Harbingers of Hatred's Volley, this pretty much always gives me vulnerable uptime as a modifier, and it gives me 30% increased vulnerable damage. So this applies vulnerable and gives me 30% increase, where see, this would just give me attack speed. I don't really care about more attack speed. Crit chance. I don't need crit chance. There was one though that wait, where is it? That's Beastmasters. There was one. Is it Flesh Reavers? You gain 5% vulnerable damage. See, even if I tempered like a crowd control duration and got 20, this is only 20% vuln, where this is 30%. So this is just better. And then I am also running the Bilal I-Beam modifier, because activating your main boss power grants stealth for 2 seconds. And the Lilith waves are every 2 seconds. So you're constantly going stealth, and after entering stealth, you deal 30% increased overpower damage. So, and also I'm running Shroud. That makes me stealth. So And this is Sin Rats. Gain 5% damage to all elements for each 1% elemental resistance, up to a maximum of 25. And I'm doing fire damage, and the Lilith power is physical damage. So that kind of buffs both of the, and that Sin Rats might actually be why the Lilith power is more increased right here. Let's see. Let's just put something else in. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's just drop it for Andariel. No, let's drop it for Duriel's Burrow. Just something random. No? Okay, so Sinrats doesn't buff the actual boss power, but it does buff my... Sinrats does buff my fire damage from Rake. So, Sinrats is probably... A 25 is also better than the other 20% Vuln, so... Yeah, I think this is the best boss power combo that I could do. What, use Sinrats? Or no, you use Belal's and Vuln, don't you? And I need better gems. Like, I have one really good armor gem. I need 2 better armor gems so I could armor stack. See, I could put max life. See, I'm sitting here theory crafting my build while I'm on stream as well. You can't put max life on an amulet, so this would be the perfect stat. I just need to put ranks of resilient on, so that would give me more max life when I cast a gorilla skill. So I need max life on this. I need max life on this. Actually, while I'm theory crafting, I'm gonna do a quick Google search. Get Google to help me out. And I'm just gonna run the concussive stomp and assume that it works. Because as y'all seen on my stream, it seems like whenever I put concussive stomp on and I have unyielding on, I did more damage than without the unyielding. And the reason I use concussive stomp, see, if you were to change to gorilla here, all skills are now gorilla skills, so that would auto make unyielding work. But I want to use jaguar because this would just give me more of a barrier, where this every 15th hit you deal direct damage to an enemy with a jaguar skill, unleash an additional strike for 15% of the damage you have dealt in the last 0.5 seconds. So I really want that. And then on my secondary, I really want jaguar here as well. Because this, your max ferocity stack is increased by 1. Ferocity will gives you attack speed. And I think it's a different attack speed bucket as well. And then, you gain 1 stack of ferocity when you kill an enemy or damage a boss. So you can stack a bunch of ferocity, which means you stack a bunch of extra attack speed in its own bucket. And that's also why I'm not running the Harmony of Ibawaka. Because you need 3 different, like you need to have your main skill, whatever it is, and then you need to have your 2 spirit halls, something different hall than what your main one is. Test unyielding without using any other gorilla skills. For example, armor hide. That's the only way to see if the rune is working. Okay, let me reset it. See, I'm not fast enough. Sorry, I can't hang more, but I gotta bounce. Oh, that's okay. I will leave you up. Gotta head out with the dogs. Talk when I get back. Alright. Okay, it gives me 2. It's hard to tell. Okay, it's at the bottom. I just gotta reset it and look at the bottom.
My demons are quiet here.
Message redacted. Or retracted. Sorry. Retracted. I don't even know what redacted means. But, see, I couldn't tell by the buff bar. It'd probably be easier to tell if you're on PC. I'm on PS5. But I did test. Oh, snap, Hardy Sin. Oh, the ongoing joke. Hope you're doing good, Boom. Yeah, I'm just testing Spiritborn, like some of the patch things. You're brewing. Are you saying you're brewing something, or you're asking me if I'm brewing something? Because yeah, this is my rig build. I'm just testing things about the patch, and I actually tested the Rada Kepaleke. The cast twice does not work with Quill Volley. Like this straight. If you're running Quill Volley, this does not work. But if you're running any other skill besides Quill Volley, this works. Like for example, look. Like, so you see the rake's hitting twice. See, if you put in just another one on, it hits once. So, but if you run Quill Volley, let me just put Quill Volley in my bar. So once. See, look, that does not work for Quill Volley. So if you, let me just put my actual skill back on. But if you're using any other skill, actually, let me just test another core real quick. Crushing Hand. Yep. See, look, it's hitting twice. Let's try Stinger. So yeah, it's doing two. So Quill Volley just does, like the cast twice just doesn't work on Quill. What's some of these down here you can make cores? You can turn this core. I'm assuming these work. I'd have to take points out and stuff, and or I'll just do it just for the sake of testing. All right, let's turn this into a core skill. Let's see if this hits twice. Oh, yeah, I guess I need to put it on my bar. Okay, this isn't hitting twice. Okay, so it doesn't work on Quill, and it doesn't work on Payback. Let's try Touch of Death. Core skill. So so it works on all the core skills up here except for Quill Volley, and it also doesn't work on the two you can turn into cores down here. So let's put this back. Oh yeah, and somebody earlier was asking about the unyielding thing, or saying I could do. I did the way I was able to test it, and this isn't like 100% proof, but this is like, this kind of makes me think it does work. I tested my damage without unyielding hits on my bar, or no, on my aspects. I mean, and my damage. For example, I hit for like a little over 300 something million with like no gear for this rake build, and then I put unyielding on my aspects, and the only way I can cast a gorilla skill is with concussive stomp. So And I went from hitting from 300 million to hitting for a little over 500 million. So almost 200 million more damage. And I'm not even armor stacking right now. So like, I'm about 70 to 80% sure the rune procs, the unyielding hits. Okay, I've messed around with my skills a lot. Let's make sure my skill tree's still the way I want it. And last night, this was before the buff, I tested this right here, but I had the boss power. I think it's the Bilal one that gives you vulnerable whenever you spend all your primary resources when you cast a basic, and it gives you vulnerable for 5 seconds. And I had lucky hit chance to make enemies vulnerable, and I still didn't have quite enough vulnerable uptime. One, for this, and two, I lost my the ability to reset my skills as fast because if I get rid of this, the only way I can reset my skills is with a small amount of cooldown reduction you get from Rake, and then from your Paragon board. Where is it? Or I'll just find it right here. Wildfire. It has a 30% chance to reduce your active cooldown, so my skills wasn't resetting fast enough, and then when I was testing it in like a pit 55, I cleared it no problem, but then got to the boss. I mean, given this is fresh gear for this build pretty much, and I died to the boss whenever I was running that, and I lost vulnerable uptime. So I decided to run Prodigy Tempo. Okay, I'll do another test real quick with this. Let's see if I can get some higher damage. $473. $448. And keep in mind, I'm not really armor stacking. Wait, I think my potion ran out. That's about the best way I can test it, because I don't have armor stacked right now. $387, $503. Okay. Alright, now let me go back to town real quick. Change the aspect out. And I'll sit here, whenever I change the aspect, I'll sit here and try to fish for another high damage number like I did the 500 million. Because at first, whenever I made this build, I was running Wild Claws, and not necessarily because it was like the best thing to run, I just thought it looked cool. But I was also running the Earthen Bulwark rune instead of the Concussive Stomp. But I'm not even going to change runes. That doesn't matter for this testing. The only thing, because I don't have unyielding hits anymore, so even if I have Gorilla Skill or not, the only thing that I was using the Concussive Stomp for was the proc unyielding hits, and now I don't have it, so that doesn't matter. $74 million, $76 million. I feel like I'm doing a lot more like hits, but not higher damage. 196. 308. I'll see if I can get that random 500 million. Okay, I haven't seen no 500 million yet. The highest I've seen was a 300 million, where when I was using unyielding, I had a 500. And the only reason I'm even testing this, there was a debate online at the beginning of the season. Like people were running Ashava builds, and they were using the rune to proc unyielding hits, but it wasn't giving the bonus. So people were like, okay, is it? They were debating whether or not you have to press a Gorilla Skill to invoke it, or press a Gorilla Skill that counts as a cast, or use a rune to invoke just to proc that. But with the patch notes, it says unyielding hits can now be applied to the Ashava poison. So I'm thinking that the rune does work, that it's always worked, that you just wasn't able until today to do the armor stacking unyielding with the Ashava. That's what I think the problem was. I still haven't seen no 500s. And like I said, I'm not armor stacked. I can armor stack at the 5k. Or at least like as close to 5k as I can. So I'm not 100% sure. Like, I'm sure somebody could actually test it that's a little bit smarter than me and like actually see if it works 100%. But in my findings, I do more damage with unyielding than I do without unyielding. So it's got to work. And I'm not armor stacking. So like that's my logic. Because either it works or it doesn't work, and I'm doing more damage with it. So it's got to work. That's my thought. All right, we're gonna put unyielding back on. Now I want to test something as well while I'm on stream. I'm gonna make a brand new character. Make him a Spiritborn. This is just for testing purposes. I'm not rolling another Spiritborn right now. All right, just finalize. Testing. So I have to do the opening part of the quest just until I unlock the, I just want to test and see if you can get sparks from this. Because now with the patch, you should be able to convert your whatever it's called to upgrade your powers into reputation with that bulletin board. So if this works, you should be able to make infinitely new characters. Just get to the point where you can unlock the board and then instantly fill it out, and then you get sparks over and over. That's what I want to test. Here, I'm just gonna do something random here. See what you might. And you just got to do like the little opening part to get to that point. I'm just gonna run through this. Wait, you gotta get past Bilal on T1, so you got to be at least level 60. For that little bulletin board, I'm pretty sure you can fill out the bulletin board without being through the quest, though. I'm not 100% sure, but that's normally the way that it's worked in past seasons. I am gonna test it real quick, just to make sure. The lady to get the scrolls. Wait, what scrolls? Oh, so the thing's to convert it. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. See, I didn't know there was actual scrolls in the game. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the point where I unlock the board on this, and then I'm gonna go to my other Spiritborn real quick, and then I'm gonna see if I can buy some and transfer it to this character to see if you can actually get sparks from this. Because if so, you can get infinite sparks to craft random mythics. And if this works, this will be the most reliable way to get mythic uniques in the game right now. Oh, not infinite, but you know what I mean. Especially like if you can chain Bilals like we've been doing. You're just going to get a bunch of reputation from farming the boss, and then you can just keep going back to it, make a new character real quick, and get a spark. And I also want to see how much it takes to fill out the board as well. See if it would even be worth doing that, or if you should just, all the extra points you can turn into reputation or whatever, you should just be getting gear with that. I'm not sure. Use the boss power to kill stuff. Smart. Oh, meant to put that up here. Where's the one? There's one that would actually one-shot this.
Was that true? What he said about Lilith's blood infecting you?
Okay, Lilith's spikes are broke. Okay, so if you level a new character, use Lilith's power with a core skill. Top left is one of the best for that. Oh, the Bilal Eye Beam.
I trust you know what you're doing.
1 health pot and boom.
If you
Okay.
need to snuff out these demons,
But also, if you're just like trying to level a new character and you're not getting power leveled or something, if you just want to use any core skill in any class, you could just throw on the Lilith power and it would probably feel really good for leveling. So I need to go to here. Go through the little dialogue or whatever. I should have done this last night and got the character to the point where I had the board. I actually should have done multiple characters like this. I just want to do this one to test it, see if it works.
I have, and the news is disturbing. I know the Lord of Lies is abroad in.
How long have I been live for?
I must know more.
Over an hour? Dang, this ended up being a longer stream than I thought. This was supposed to be like a short testing stream. So my findings was... Okay, all the key passes beside the poison has been buffed, like the patch notes said. The Kepaleke works on all core skills up here besides Quill Volley and the two down. It also doesn't work on Touch of Death or Payback when you turn them into cores. So Kepaleke works, the skills got buffed, and I'm pretty sure the Concussive Stomp rune invokes unyielding hits. And the only thing holding it back before was it didn't work on Ashava builds because, like they said in the patch notes,
Belial's apparitions are extensions of his
long
deceitful
dialogue.
nature. It's not enough for him to murder innocents. He needs them to believe. The more the demons are seen, the more their power is believed, and the stronger Belial grows. When he has enough power, Belial can draw all of Sanctuary into his own dominion, where only he decides what's real. This is the realm of lies.
Wait, somebody said the patch deleted Belial from the Eternal?
Belial... I'm recording.
Okay, I unlocked the board. So now let's go back to the other Spiritborn, like the one I actually play.
We could use the respite.
Okay, boom. Where's the person to convert? Is it the quest person near the season thing? Right beside the board. Oh. How many do I have? Okay, I need to empty out my... I'm gonna try to stack these. Okay, so let's just put all these right here. Oh yeah. I'm just putting everything in my stash so I have the max amount of room for it. Well, I don't need any of the boss power things to level up anymore, so I can just spend all of it. So I can just fill my stash up. Okay, that's full. Let's go dump these in my stash. Let me just fill up a tab. This for testing. You know what? Let me just test this real quick. Or no, I want to make sure I have enough to finish the... I can hold more. They're kind of cheap too. And you say one scroll gives you 2 or 3, so that's good. Oh, one inventory of scrolls. Hmm. So this might actually be expensive. Okay, if I gotta go back, I'll come back and buy more. But if you can get guaranteed sparks just by doing the first quest, make sure you count them. Yeah, I'm not just gonna mindlessly spend them. To see exactly how many it takes. Okay, yeah, that's smart. What, do you just like open them? Or what do you do with them? Just click them? Alright. Let's test. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 22. So there's approximately 33 in your stash. Use. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Twelve, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Alright, what is... So that's 33 right there. So it takes 33 to get to this point. It takes 59 to max out. Oh, so you've tested this? That's good. That's good. I'm sure a lot of people's tested this, actually. So I had 33. There's 32 right there. This should be more than enough. I believe you when you say 59. I just wanted to test for myself. All right. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Yeah, I think you're right. 56, 57, 58, 59. Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so 59 scrolls. And I guess you can just do this infinitely. And I'm just going to open these. Or I say infinitely, but as many as you have. I just want that. I shouldn't even... Okay, there's a lot of boss mats in here. So you can get a lot of boss mats just by doing this too. And I think this also gives you like masterwork materials and like crafting stuff as well. Oh, this also gives you some GA items. Okay, I don't need any of this. It's actually most likely the best farm in the game now. I believe that.
There's a
Okay, so I have 2 sparks. Oh, somebody's asking if I have a... Yeah, I'll look on my Spiritborn. Okay, so yeah, it works. Are you gonna craft a random mythic? Yeah, I think that's what I was about to do. I'm gonna put all these back in my stash. I about deleted that character, but before I delete that character, I need to get my boss mats off. Don't do it on Spiritborn. Well, Spiritborn's like the class I play. I have a Barb and I have a Necromancer, but I don't play him. Why, is something bugged with Spiritborn? Because if it's bugged, I won't do it. Because I actually want to get, for this rake build that I'm making, has an extra mythic pull, and it's garbage. Yeah, but the other ones have a chance to drop swords. And I don't like the other classes I have because I don't have a Sork and I don't have a Druid. And all the other classes have a chance to drop Doombringer, and then the other 2 have a chance to drop the Grandfather. If I had a Sork or a Druid, that might would be the better one to open it on, but I don't have a Sork or a Druid. So I have to do it on Spiritborn.
My demons are quiet here. Mostly.
Level a Sork to 60 real fast. I don't want to do that. Although I have been wanting to play a sorcerer, because last season I played. Oh, you can get the staff though. Yeah, that would also be a bad drop for me. I guess it would almost just be worth opening it on Spiritborn. That way I ain't got to level a character, and I also don't have a chance to drop a unique that I straight up can't use on this class. And if it's a bad one, then I'm just going to scrap it. Wait, what rune was Becky asking for? Sorry if you hear background noise. There's a lot of people over. I think I'm just going to open it right now. I'm going to open it on Spiritborn.
forge is always hot.
Helm. Max life. I don't really think I need a Harlequin crest. I heard there was a Mother's Blessing extra XP happening right now. I wasn't paying attention, but most of the time when Mother's Blessing happens, it says something about it, like on the start screen of Diablo, like on the main menu or whatever. I didn't look, but if there is one, it should say it on the main menu. Oh, somebody's screaming in the background. I'm so sorry. Okay, but from my testing, Kepaleke works on all core skills except for Quill Volley. Do you like and subscribe your way? Oh, I appreciate that, man. I'm pretty sure that the concussive stomp rune procs unyielding hits. I think the only thing stopping it from procking unyielding hits was on the Shava builds before, because as in the patch notes they said, now the unyielding hits can apply to the Ashava and Varshan powers. So I think the rune works for any build besides Quill Volley. Kepaleke works, so that's good. They buffed all core skills. And they buffed this like double damage, because it was 40%. They increased the core stat by a pretty large amount. I forgot what it was yesterday. And then they also buffed this where it gives you 4 ranks instead of 2. I think I'm going to test a Pit 55. Because I said, I just theory crafted this build yesterday, and I still have scuffed gear, and I also have glyphs that aren't legendary. So, like, this is just like... but in Maxroll, Rake was D tier. Like, they considered it one of the worst builds in the game, but Rake is my favorite skill, and I theory crafted this build, Paragon, everything, boss powers, this theory crafted all of it in like 2 hours, and instantly tier 4 viable. And the Max Rollin was not an overpower build, and it was using like the Urvar lob bombs, and I kind of didn't like the boss power combo, so I made Rake an overpower build, and then I used a stronger boss combo. Oh, not at 85. No. 85 is when I was running the Varshan build before they completely patched it. So I need to run a... I can show you. 1 second. Okay, so for Rake, and I tested a bunch of them. I'm running the Lilith box because this gives you a ramping 300x multiplier. So this is like probably the best way to just skill like Rake. Like actually skilling pure Rake and not using like an Ashava. Because let me say, Ashava builds are probably the best way on Spiritborn. But I didn't want to make an Ashava build. I wanted to make a Rake build. So like, if you're not doing an Ashava build, Lilith is probably the best power for Spiritborn at least. And then I'm using the Bilal Eye Beam since I'm an overpower build. Activating your main boss power grants stealth for 2 seconds. Entering stealth. After entering stealth, you gain, or you deal, I'm sorry, I can't read today. You deal 30% increased overpower damage. They will patch the Shava. Yeah, okay. So that's actually good because it was the Varshan was also lagging servers. So I think this build is safe, and I'm gonna theory craft on this build and try to get it as good as I can, and then I'm gonna make a build guide. So like this one will not get nerfed. But yeah, I'm running the Lilith. I'm running Bilal for the overpower. And you're activating this every 2 seconds. This is a 2 second. Sinrats because Rake is fire damage. And then this gives me 100% uptime of vulnerable. And it gives me 30% increased vulnerable damage. So like this is the best boss combo I came up with. Boss power combo. And I'm using the Mythic Helm, Shroud of False Death. See, I could get a better GA of this as well. This is kind of a scuffed pair of gloves, but the power, Moonrise for the 100% basic damage, because I am a Kepaleke build. Maximum ferocity stacks. I picked Yin's Blessing because this is like res cap just on a pair of boots. So like it's like, and you could get like the 10% increased damage and pulls like the wild bolts or whatever for 10% more damage, but like res cap on boots is more valuable to me than 10% increased damage. And Kepaleke with a core skill cast twice, Starless, Unyielding Hits, and Redirected Force. Excuse me. And then for runes, I'm doing the Lith Concussive Stomp rune combo. And since I'm double Jaguar, this procs my Unyielding Hits. And then I'm running Hawk Zan. Spend 300 of your primary resource. Your next attack will crit and overpower. Yeah, I'm still using Rakanal's weight because I can't find a GA Yin's. Wait, let's see if I have one. I do have a GA Yin's. Wait, link your BattleNet and I'll give you these. I'll just give them to you. I'm not going to use them. I already have a 2 GA, 60%. This is 60% GA resistance to all element right here. Okay, let me add you. Oh, tapping on controller is so bad. That would be awesome. I'll give you some Bilal mats and trade. Oh, I would appreciate that. Definitely ain't gonna say no to that. Oh, okay, I'll just add you then. And as long as I'm on, just invite me later. Or if I'm in a party, request to join. Either way. Well, did it work?
If I cannot be in the wilderness, this will do.
That should have worked, but if it for some reason doesn't, later I'll go back and oh, okay, good. All right, so now I want to test a pit real quick. Yeah, because my findings today, like I was saying, Kepaleke works with Rake, only doesn't work with Quill. About 80% sure the Concussive Stomp rune, I'll see after work. The Concussive Stomp rune applies the Unyielding Hits. The Spark method works. I'm sorry for background noise. There's a lot of people here. I just wanted to test some stuff. Patch day. What is this? Pit 55. So like I said, this build was D tier on max roll. This is supposed to be one of the worst skills in the game, but I theory crafted a build and instant T4 viable. And I actually haven't run a pit since I put on, because yesterday I was running the aspect of Wild Claws where the one that summons the Jaguar Spirit to rake with you, because I just thought it looked cool. But then I was thinking, I was like, wait, I could do, and I'm not armor stacking right now. As you see, I'm barely I'm a little over armor cap, and you can stack up to 5,000 armor. So like, once I kind of change my gear around a little bit and armor stack, this is going to do a lot more damage as well. And I wanted to run the Vital Strikes, I think it's called, the one where you deal 80% increased damage, but it removes the vulnerable. But even like with the boss power and a roll of lucky hit chance to apply vulnerable on a ring, I didn't have enough vulnerable uptime, and B, I lose the ability to reset my skills as fast because I only get the skill resetting from Rake and then the one glyph, like the Jaguar Fire glyph. I forgot what it's called. So like my skills was resetting, but it wasn't resetting fast enough, so I also lost some survivability. I just need Moonrise. Oh, I have Moonrise. I have Moonrise, Unyielding Hits, Redirected Force, and then I have the 3 mythics. I have Duelist, Yins, Radakepeleke. But if you didn't have the Mythic Helm, you could run either the Loyalty's Mantle or whatever it's called with double Jaguar. Oh, what's the aspect that applies vulnerable? How does it work? Oh, it's the boss power. Especially the Prodigy tempo setup, Harbinger of Hatred's Volley. Like you see it like 100% vulnerable uptime. Because whenever you are at max primary resource, it spins it all and makes all surrounding enemies vulnerable for 5 seconds. So like, tournament vulnerable uptime. And you get 30% increased vulnerable damage. It's just too strong of a boss power to pass up. And Rake doesn't make things vulnerable, so... I do think the Wild Claws looks cooler. The one where you can get the Jaguar Spirit to rake with you. I think it looks cooler, but I think this is going to be more damage. And Rake already like is under 10. I want to get this like able to solo T4 bosses. Like, you're probably not going to be able to carry 4-man groups with it. Like, you're just going to need a meta build in there or something like that's really strong. But I want to get this build to where you can do the whole game outside of pit pushing, because this isn't going to be a pit pusher. About the only way you can pit push on Spiritborn right now is if you do the Ashava build, and they might nerf it. That's a lot of overpower ticks. Looks fun for a pretty okay gear. Yeah, I'm missing a lot of gear, by the way. And with the overpower, I'm not using Banish Lords. I'm using the Zan rune with Pox. So you spend 300 primary of your max resource, and your next hit will be a guaranteed crit and overpower. And I have 171 max resource, so I overpower every 2 hits. And I was like trying to play around with my stats and stuff, and without putting a bunch of like primary resource on gear, I don't think you're going to be able to overpower every hit. So I settled for every 2 hits. I think that's fine. But I am critting like every hit because of Kepaleke and that rune. But you crit every hit, overpower, and crit every 2 hits. So like that's good enough for me, honestly. And I'm, like I said, I'm missing a lot of armor. Like, you can stack up the 5,000 armor and get the unyielding damage bonus. And I am, like, I'm proccing concussive stomp every 2.4 seconds, and the unyielding hits buff lasts for 3. So permanent unyielding hits in combat. Somebody's in the background, I'm sorry. See, my gear is kind of bad right now, and I'm missing, not even all my glyphs are to 46. See, almost a 500 million damage, 500 million damage with bad gear. Pit 55, tier 4 viable. Alright, I'm gonna have to end stream here in a second. Yep, see, I have Colossal Glyph, that's just for more damage per resolve stack. Did the Poison Spiritborn get a buff? Yes, it did. The Ashava power can now stack unyielding hits. And if you're looking for a poison build to play, I can actually link the one I made. I made this for somebody, and he loves this build. I gotta go back to work, LOL. That's a cool build, man. I like it. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good time at the rest of your work day, Brian. But yeah, if you're looking for a poison build to play, I made this for somebody. This is a poison crushing hands with the Ashava power. Now this is completely theory craft, but I sat down for like 3 hours or more, just like playing with stats and trying to make this about as good as I could. And I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of used, there's a build that Rob made, but it was for Quill Volley, and I kind of used that as a template, but I made it for Crushing Hand. So I do have to give Rob credit. Like this is a template for his Ashava Quill Volley build, but I made a Crushing Hand build out of it. And I'm going to put together a planner for this. This is not an Ashava build. This is just a rake build. Like Max Roll, they have theirs in D tier, but this is easily B tier. I just did a Pit 55 with bad gear. This, and well, you see 36k attack power. Like this is definitely viable for the whole game, except for pit pushing for sure. And I don't know about bosses yet. I want to get to the point where I get enough gear and power to solo bosses. If I can solo bosses in Torment 4, I'm happy with this build. Yeah, but yeah, Poison Spiritborn did get buffed. I don't know if you heard me a minute ago. They buffed the Ashava power. Now the Ashava power can apply unyielding hits. And that's like one of the best aspects. Like this is unyielding hits. Casting a gorilla skill increases your weapon damage by, it's actually up to 30% of your armor, capping at a 1500 bonus. So what that means on a ring, you can, or an item that's not an amulet or weapon, you can stack up to 5,000 armor, and it would. So this would apply to the Ashava power now, and you can actually run the Ashava power with any core skill, like any of these core skills. But if it's not, or actually, yeah, any of the core skills, but all you would have to do is make Centipede your primary Spirit Hall. So it would inflict a base poison damage, and if you have a base dot damage that you inflict, then you can proc the Ashava power. And then if you want to, you can use any core skill with that, and use the poison key passive to detonate the dots. And you stack a bunch of crit damage. You can make it really good. But yeah, I think I'm going to end my stream here. Thank you everybody for hanging out while I tested some things. A quick review of what I tested. Kepaleke, the cast twice, works with every core skill except for Quill Volley. So I know people were saying that the cast twice didn't work, but as long as you're not Quill Volley, it does work. Because I tested it with Quill Volley, I tested it with all the cores. The cast twice does work. The unyielding hits can, I'm about 80% sure the unyielding hits can proc with the concussive stomp rune. The spark method works. Spiritborn got buffed. Like all the key passives. So yeah, that was just a quick summary of what I did on stream today. But I try to go live like at least once every week. Sometimes I'll do like a random pop-up stream. So I'm live every week at some point. I do videos like sometimes too. But if you haven't liked the stream and you enjoyed the stream, make sure to drop a like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe for more Diablo content. And I hope everybody has a good day. Until next time, peace.